Hey everybody, we have finished chapter 4 and moving on to chapter 5. I'm sure you are shocked by such logic, but chapter 5 we are going about differently than the first 4 chapters. So if you were absent, let me explain to you how chapter 5 is different. And it is a project, it is a team project, and if you were absent, I put you with the group and I will email you or call you to let you know who you are working with and what's going on. But the first thing I want to talk about is the reading log. It is singular, it's not plural. The other 4 chapters said daily reading logs. It meant every day and it meant plural. This reading log is a summation of chapter 5. Most likely people are going to do it at the end. So for people who are really not fond of the daily reading logs, you have a little bit of a break for you. And in terms of chapter 5, you're going to see there's only 2 rectangles for this chapter. Project tips and the project itself. So I'm going to start with the tips to remind us all how to go about doing this well and being as successful as we can be. First of all, your oratory skills. Whatever any of you do for a living, most likely you're going to have to speak to other people, okay? So might as well practice this skill set when you are young. People with good oratory skills, they articulate. It's interesting. They're not monotone. You know what I mean? It's not too fast. It's not too slow. It sounds good to the ears to listen to. Okay? So try to have that good articulation when you are up there. Enunciation. Make sure people can understand your words. Do as I say, not as I do. This is my weak area of oratory. And oftentimes when people get nervous and they talk too fast, they lose the enunciation and they stutter. Or they have a tremendous amount of humana. So articulation, enunciation, and gesticulation, using your hands. And I'm not saying you have to go full-bore Italian guy when you're up there. I can make that joke. You can't make that joke. But for people in the past who hold the podium, put their hands in their pocket, it's not as interesting as people who use their hands when they talk. So get used to that, okay? Your hands can illustrate points, and again, a lot of communication is nonverbal, and hand usage increases that those communication skills you're going to need to have. Eye contact. Look at people. Don't just look at one person because it's creepy, but look to the right, look to the left, look to the center, look to the left. Change it up, okay? But when you're just staring at a sheet of paper, or heavens forbid, your back is turned staring at the screen, that is not good oratory. And movement. You don't have to be anchored to a podium. You can move around a bit. In fact, good speakers often move around when it's appropriate, and it makes it interesting to listen to them. So that's the oratory part. Now, in terms of scale, please don't be the person who gives too much detail. You've been in these presentations where these kids have clearly cut and pasted something and going down these pointless details, and the room is trying to be polite to them because you're good people, but at the same time, you're not learning a thing and the switch gets shut off. We've all experienced that. Don't be that person. Or too little detail. If your presentation is 30 seconds, I don't think you can adequately, get across your topic to a group of people in 30 seconds. So if you use too little detail, you fail to make the point. Make it like Baby Bear's porridge, just right. So it's intellectually nourishing and understandable at the same time. That is the challenge. It's a challenge I face. Okay, so attempt to do that. And please know your audience. I've been in presentations where the students will only look at me. I'm not the audience. Make it understandable for teenagers, not that middle-aged guys, okay? So make it in a way that they understand. And again, there's highbrow academic and then colloquial or lowbrow, if you will. It's okay to change it up. It's okay to speak to one group of people differently than another group of people. Know your audience, try to capture that audience. And analogies and similes I value very much because any schmo can read bullet points from a PowerPoint, your teachers included. It's the good teachers and the good presentations that can use analogies to help people understand. They use similes to help people understand. Try to do that. Final tip, the golden rule of teaching. Teach the way you want to be taught. Okay, if you were on the other side of the desk, what would you be looking for? Okay, now for the project itself, fairly straightforward. I took chapter 5 and I looked at it. And there were 5 groups of people, all under the premise of these land empires. Okay, that's what they called it. They said land empires. So we have Europe, we have Russia, we have China, we have the Ottoman Empire, and the Mughal Empire. So I took these 5 portions of your book and I divided you up. So you will all be on Team Europe, Team Russia, Team China, Team Ottoman, or Team Mughal. And as you can see, there are details specific to your team. I'm not going to read those now. I'm going to try to model what I just told you in tips, not burdening you with details that you don't care about. But if you get Team Europe, you better care about this. You get Team Russia, you better care about this. So the first part of this is strategize. Look at your teammates. What can they bring to the table? Now, I know you've been in some general ed classes where you have these mooches that aren't doing anything and the smart kids, do all the work. Good news about AP, hey, you're all the top students. There's going to be no mooches. And you all can bring your talents to the table. So strategize. What's your end result going to be? Some kid might say, listen, I am petrified of speaking. I'm not a very good speaker, but I'm a really good researcher. Cool. I'm the opposite. I don't really like research, but I'm a good speaker. That kind of conversation is going to produce the best product. Step 2, reputable and vetted sources. In this day and age, there's a lot of BS, a lot of nonsense, a lot of misinformation on the internet. It's more and more important every year to let people know where you got your information from. So it's not some wackadoodle website. So I'll give you some suggestions. Sweet Search. You can use Sweet Search from now until college. They vet the sources for you. Google Advanced Search, you can put .edu or .gov into the site or domain bar. It will only search university or government sources. That's reputable. Google Scholar, a little more eggheady than you're probably used to, but Google Scholar has reputable, vetted sources. Then you're going to create a presentation. Be cognizant that your classmates need good visuals and good auditory. Be cognizant of appropriate scale. Again, I'm beating you over the head with this because it's that important, okay? Not too few details, not too many, just right. And citations. I would suggest you use Nightsight. Nightsight I have used for all of my academic stuff. I used that for my master's classes a couple months ago. And it works. I can tell you that it works. So make sure you are citing, which relates to this part here. And then once we present, I'm fully aware there might be some holes in the lineup. I will fill in those holes. We're going to combine our collective learning, gauge what we learn, complete that summation reading log, and we'll live to fight another day. So in short, Chapter 5 is a little bit different than the first 4 chapters. Only one, very lengthy, but only one reading log, which most likely we're going to do at the end. We have a project that is going to divide us up, and hopefully it is a positive. I am optimistic that it will be, and I look forward to seeing what you all create. So thank you for watching.